All right. Today I'm doing a live mix walkthrough, so I'm going to do this mix in one sitting. I've already got my session set up with all my tracks and the FX buses that I want to use. This is a track that I found on some Stems website. I'll put it in the description. It's by the artist Ronnie Jones, and the song is Why Don't You Stay? I've had to listen through, put my markers in, but I haven't done anything else. Yeah, let's get to work. Let's start by putting an SSL bus compressor on the master fader. I like to start with presets and move on from there. Let's use a punch preset. Just turn the threshold way down. No makeup gain. It's in, and I'm just going to, off the bat, set the master fader to -5, or as close as I can get, -5.3. I left my glasses at home today, and I'm at the office, so I can't exactly see anything, but we're going to try our best anyway. I'm going to start by putting all my faders to 0. It'll let me grab all of them, it won't. I like to start from scratch, build it up, and see what's going on, especially with drums in the front half. I'm not going to do that with the guitars because there are so many of them. Tell you what, we're just going to do it with the buses. And I'll leave the drums there because I'm going to dial those to taste anyway. Vocals, backgrounds, and then some effects. Cool. Start listening to some drums. After listening to the tune, I'm going to take a chunk out of the chorus here. We're going to loop that because that gives us a pretty good idea of what the sound is going to be throughout. Let's play that back. Don't have full drums, only kick and a snare mic. Maybe those are stems of kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom. It doesn't sound like it. So we got kick, snare, overheads, and tambourine. Let's dial some of this in. Let's set this to -5-ish. Let's hear what the kick sounds like. I'm going to start just getting a balance here. Seems like the tracking balance is pretty good. Let's start dealing with this kick a little bit. Load up a kick preset. And a little bit more click out of it. A little bit less of that. We're going to bypass the dynamics and I'm going to put my own compressor on there. It says CLA 76. Fast attack, fast release, 4-1. Similar level, just brings it to life a little bit more. We're going to do the same thing with the snare drum. We're going to go for that SSLG channel again. That seems to work really well for me. We're going to load up a snare drum preset again. Let's take some of the body out of that, add some of the snap back in. I'm going to take out the dynamics. I'm not loving that. And we're just going to go to the Pro Q3. See what's going on here. I'm going to pull out some of that. Not crazy about where that's sitting. And we're going to low pass it. I'm sorry, high pass it. Right about to there. 18 decibels per octave slope. And let's compress it. Same compressor. Slower release because it happens a little less frequently. You're right about there. Let's EQ some of these overheads. Just going to put on a high shelf. I want to get some of the airiness out of those cymbals. And I want a lot less of this information happening overall. Make it dynamic and widen the cue. I want it to catch right between the kick attack and the snare air there. Let's hear what's going on with this tambourine. Gonna go for that Pro Q3 again. High pass it because there's no low frequency information happening in that. If we A/B that, there's no real low frequency information happening there. Just gonna brighten it up a little bit and take it up to unity, see where that sits. Just sit a little bit better in the mix there. That's sounding pretty nice to me. Might want to add a snare drum reverb here. So let's do that. I have everything set up here in track folders, using them kind of as subgroups and as a bus. I really like the Lexicon 480L plate reverb on a snare drum. Got plates, got a lot of different options. Snare plate is what I go with, and it works for me. And then I take it all the way to wet solo, so that I'm only getting the hall, the plate rather. That's pretty nice. Let's just EQ this a little bit. I don't want most of this information in there. With a little bit more of an aggressive 24 dB per octave. We can do a little boost here on the top end and cut a little bit here in the mids. Take it down and then broaden it out a little bit. That sounds good to me. Let's bring in some bass. It's just loud. It's the first vibe I get off that. I prefer the bass DI, so we're just going to use that. I'm going to go for the Pro Q and see if there's anything in it that I don't like. Yeah, that's what I was hearing. Let's take that out a little bit and shelve off some of this. I'll just do a full cut if it becomes a problem. It probably won't be. And then we're going to go for the SSLG channel again for some color. Let's see what a bass preset sounds like in here. I'm gonna get a little bit more bite out of it. 4.5 might do well for me. Yeah, that works for me. I'm going to bypass the compressor there. Going to send this to an LA2A. Again, let's pick a bass preset. Not that there's much that you can really fuck up in a bass on an LA2A, but here we are. Just tame some of the transients a little bit. Raise the gain to try to gain match it, just a smidge. It sounds pretty good to me. Let's hear the keys that are happening in the chorus here. There's a lot of stuff in there that I'm not the biggest fan of so far. I have to work on these roads here. I really dislike that sound. Let's see what these two are. So the road's dry. Road's raw. So are they different parts? No, these are... I'm just not going to use those for now. And I will try and make the roads a little bit more interesting in context here. Yeah, I'm really not liking where that's resonating. I'm gonna cut the sub out. There's no need for that. I'm gonna high pass this here, or low pass it rather, high cut. Let's see what's going on. You know, you can add color in the Pro Q if you want. I choose to add color in my SSL here. That's what I didn't like about it. Some stuff in there that I don't like. Let's hear what the lows sound like. Those lows aren't the worst thing in the world. Let's send some of it to the plate reverb bus I have for the mix. Give it a little bit of color. And we're going to send it to a space echo. Just make it a little more interesting of a sound off the bat. That's a little too much on the plate, I think. I feel like it's going to have to come down in the mix once we get there. Acoustic guitar. Let's have some fun. I think I screwed something up on my routing here. It's probably exactly what happened. Nope, I just didn't bring up the guitars bus. All right. I'm just going to make those stereo. Not sure if they were intended to be, but it's going to be fun anyway. Let's start with this guy. Just gonna go straight for the G channel. And let's go for acoustic guitar. Not crazy about what's happening here. Not quite the frequency that I would go for to get that. Yeah, there it is. And then we're gonna go for the Pro Q again. Take out some of what I'm not loving about this. Let's see if I can find what I do like about it. I think these acoustic guitars are going to give me a hard time. I just don't really like them. I'm processing them as a group just because I think they're going to get similar treatment anyway. Let's put it through 76 again. Immediately, I like it more. Immediately. Still not crazy about it, but there's something happening here that I like. Instead of the plate, let's send him to the hall. Let's go a little extreme. I gotta EQ out this hall better. That's a little better, and then we can kind of bring it back to normal land where that wants to be. Let's take a listen to what we've built so far. Acoustic guitars and up. I think the Rhodes needs to come up a little bit, and the bass needs to come down. The Rhodes still sounds a little too stock. Let's try a filter freak on it. I really like this Another Funky Guitar preset. On a lot of things. We're gonna do this. Chill these out. Run with those. Send this out to keys. Make it the same color so it's a little easier to deal with. Okay, and we're going to make these go away for now. I want to do something with them later, but for now, this is good. Let's get another filter freak happening here. Add it to the right spot. So adds a little bit of chunk to it that I really like. And we're going to send this out to the keys. Chill it out. Cool. All right, before we leave the keys, let's look at the end of the verse here with the Hammond. Okay, I like the Hammond a lot better than I like the Rhodes. I'm not crazy about what's happening here, though. A lot of people are going to say, why are you cutting all the highs off that? Why are you cutting all the lows off that? It's a really wide dynamic range instrument. And that's true if I were mixing a solo Hammond performance or a Hammond solo in the song, but I need to get the essence of it. You know, how do I want to shape the sound in the context of what we're doing here? Because we're already getting a lot of stuff, and we're only, you know, dealing with the first half of the tracks here. All right, let's hear some chorus electric guitars. I'm going to start with this first batch. And see what these are doing. There's a lot of electric guitars on this track, so I might want to, I may break them up into their own groups. Again, I'm sorry if I'm moving a little slow here. I can't see very well today, so I'm not as quick as I normally would be, but still, I wanted to do a live mix, show you what's up here. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty clearly going to be left-right. And it's DI versus wet. It may very well be that anyway. This is going to be left-right here. This is DI. I'll do something with that. These are DI. For the purposes of what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to make the DI tracks inactive because I just don't have the time to go through and craft interesting guitar tones if they're not DI'd, or if they are the DI'd tracks. So, excuse me. That's why I'm doing this part. Normally I would go through and decide, you know, which DI, do I like the DI, or rather, do I like the amp sound? All right, so those are doing two different things. Give that a little bit more air. Hit it with a compressor. I'm gonna move this over here. I'm searching for the wrong thing. No wonder that didn't sound the way I wanted it to. I like the idea that it's dry in one ear and wet in the other. That's cool. I think it's going to do something interesting to the mix overall. All right, what is this guy doing? First question I try to ask myself, especially on guitar tracks like this, why is it here? What's the purpose of it? And with this one, I think it's just to add energy or something. I'm not sure that I would do it this way. As a producer and arranger, I actually certainly wouldn't do it this way. But, you know, this is just a mix. And I'm treating this like I was hired to mix this. It's not a creative mix. You know, I'm not here to put my, rather, every mix is creative, but I'm not here to put my, you know, producer stamp on it or arranger stamp or songwriter stamp. None of that. Not what I'm here for in this context. Get that moving a little bit. You know, I'm doing a lot of gain reduction on this stuff, but the compression's really light. 4-to-1 ratio isn't that much. And then you can hear that it's leveled out anyway. I just wanted to cut off the transients that are there. As you can see, it's a processed electric guitar, so it's already really compressed. And I'm going to take a guess and say that I'm going to treat this in a similar way, if not even more extreme. And we're going to go like half and half here. 54. I really want more of the high end of this guitar and way less of this. And then we're going to level them out so that they're similar on the meter there. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Cool. Let's hear it in the mix. Just adding a little bit of energy. And then this guy's playing some accompaniment. This is the processed version, but it sounds pretty dry. It just has spring reverb on it. Doesn't look like it's being compressed very much. Doesn't sound like it's being compressed very much. Yeah, I'm missing some of that. I'm really not interested in the bass stuff that he's doing very much because there's a lot of low end in the track already. We really don't need it. I'm even going to grab an SSL here. And just give me a little bit more of this stuff. I really like how the SSL handles the high end. This is the Waves G channel plugin. It's licensed by SSL. It's pretty good. I use it more than the UAD one. In fact, I pretty much only use the UAD one in the console when I'm recording. Even then, I'd rather use the 1073. I'm going to give myself more gain here to play with. Because I might want to do something interesting with this guitar later. But for now, this will be perfect. All right, let's deal with this guy here. Just doing more of this, so we're gonna give it the same kind of treatment. We're going to send this off to the right side a little bit. And then get a little bit less of it. We're going to be a little bit more delicate on the high end. That one's sticking out. All right, I'm pretty happy with where that is. Let's listen to this bridge guitar. What's this guy doing? All right, so we got like a telephone-y situation happening in this guitar. Very rarely have I found this useful, but we're gonna do it today. We're gonna try to get a smiley face vibe happening here. If we can make it do anything. And then we're still going to cut out these subs. I'm going to try and stick a compressor before it to see if I can get some of that stuff happening. Doesn't look like it, though. That's better. And then there's something in there that I really don't like. Let's go find it. All right. That's one of them. That's the other one. There is no sense in just going through the whole thing here because there's always going to be something that you don't like if you let it resonate like that. All right, that's getting kind of cool. Pan it out a little bit. Let's send some of it to the space delay. Make it a little bit wider. I don't mind what that's doing there. That's pretty cool. I like this a lot. I like that solo tone a lot. That sounds really nice. I'm not going to do anything to that. I sent a little bit of it to the plate reverb. That's all I want to do. What are these guys doing? Do the same thing here. We're going to reverse it, though. We're going to send the wet to the right and the left, the dry to the left. All right, let's see what this sounds like. I can already tell that I'm going to have to chill this guy out in the end. Let's just chill him out a little bit. Yeah, that sounds better. Yeah, that sounds really nice. I don't know if that's where I want it to sit in the balance, but we'll deal with that when we get there. And then these ending guys, what are these guys doing? Okay. I really find this uninteresting. These parts are not interesting. Guess it's our job to make it interesting, right? Ooh, not what I want. This is what I want. Let's just chill this guy out overall. There's some noise in there that I'm going to leave in if that's what they tracked it with and they didn't take it out. It's just guitar noise. There's nothing you can really... You can RX denoise it if you want, but I wouldn't. Because you're going to lose a lot of the bite of the guitar sound. Let's use another preset. Let's see what happens. I don't like that very much. Now we're talking. It's a little too aggressive. Though in the mix it might sound okay. That's what I don't like, so we're going to take it out. That is where a lot of the body is. That is true. But I don't really want a lot of the body of it. I want the texture of it. The part is an incredibly uninteresting part to play. And that's something you realize when you start digging into mixes like this. Even stems from top 40 records that use real bands. Like some of the parts are just not interesting. But they add a lot to the context when you do it together. So this is a harmony when it comes together. We're going to split them. Send it to the plate. The performance isn't super accurate. If it were like pop instead of this alt rock pop stuff, I would time align everything. In this context, it's really not necessary because it's all organic. So it's not quantized. Nothing is quantized here. I'm gonna have to do something more interesting with those pretty soon, but so that's all the instrumental. Let's take a listen and see what's going on, at least through part of the tune here. See if there's anything we need to address before we get to vocals. Chill the tambourine out. Gonna boost the drums overall. All right, the drums need to be a lot more interesting. Okay. Let's see if this will work. Let's do insert 5 and 6. Let's make sure that my hardware delay is set right. Insert 5 and 6 in my setup is input, output 5, 6, which for some reason is 3, 4. Don't get mad, I'm sorting it out this week. Getting some new gear in and just rewiring the whole studio. So we're going to send all these to the compressor bus. All right, so we're still getting some phasing on the bus here. So we're going to make this nice and easy and print some parallel compression. Latency problem. I was monitoring through the Apollo in low latency mode, which for some reason is different than what Pro Tools is doing. So now it works appropriately. So now we're going to give all these to the bus. Send this out to drums. Okay, now that makes the drums way more interesting. You can pull the level down. And that is... So that's on my two 1176s. 30 and 30 input output. Attack and release right in the middle, and 4-to-1 compression. So not hitting it too hard. I could go down. I could go up to 8-to-1 and just lower the bus, but I wanted it to provide that color to the track. I'm really liking how this has sounded so far. Let's go look at some vocals. Let's see what the vocals are doing right now. I toggle between views a lot to see, you know, what's going on at the track level and what's going on otherwise.
In love with you, girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world. A paradise or so I've heard from somebody.
I don't like what they did to this vocal.
I'm just sitting here thinking about the times that we once had. Yeah, some of them were crazy, hey, but some of them were bad. And if they asked me, I'd say I was glad to have known you. Well, I know a lot of guys have been in love with you, girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world. A paradise or so I've heard from somebody.
Now that I've EQ'd it, I'm going to de-ess it.
I'm just sitting here thinking about the times that we once had. Yeah, some of them were crazy, hey, but some of them were bad. And if they asked me, I'd say I was glad to have known you. Well, I know.
Yeah, sounds pretty good to me.
Let that many into your secret world. A paradise or so I've heard from somebody.
Compress this vocal.
I'm just sitting here thinking about the times that we once had. Yeah, some of them were crazy, hey, but some of them were bad. And if they asked me, I'd say I was glad to have known you. Well, I know a lot of...
All right, we're going to do something real quick. We're going to parallel compress the vocal here. I'm going to repurpose my compressor for a moment to do that, and then we'll come back. You know what? No, we'll stick around because it'll be good to hear the whole vocal and what that sounds like. Just going to patch it into my compressor real quick.
Well, I know a lot of guys have been in love with you, girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world. A paradise or so I've heard from somebody. Well, I know a lot of guys have been in love with you, girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world. A paradise or so I've heard from somebody. Well, I know a lot of guys have been in love with you, girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world. A paradise or so I've heard from somebody. Well, I know a lot of guys have been in love with you, girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world. A paradise or so I've heard from somebody. I'm just sitting here thinking about the times that we once had. Yeah, some of them were crazy, hey, but some of them were bad. And if they asked me, I'd say I was glad to have known you. So why don't you stay for a little while? Why don't you stay? Come on and make me smile. Why don't you stay? We could just talk all night. Why don't you stay? When I heard that you got married to that old friend of mine, And it didn't take too long for he stepped out of the line. But through the grapevine I heard you doing fine, and it's over. That's why I asked you here today, to see if you could see what I can see. But maybe it was always meant that it would end up you and me. Guess what I'm saying is, if you want me, then I'm ready to go, yeah. So why don't you stay for a little while? Why don't you stay? Come on and make me smile. Why don't you stay? We could just talk all night. Why don't you stay? So why don't you stay? Wipe away the tears. Why don't you stay? 'Cause God, how I need you here. Why don't you stay? How can I make this clear? Why don't you stay? And I know I'm not the easiest man in the world, and I know there's nothing simple about loving me, girl. So let's get together and give it a whirl. What you say now?
Gotta chill out that bridge guitar overall.
Why don't you stay? So why don't you stay? Wipe away the tears. Why don't you stay? 'Cause God, how I need you here. Why don't you stay? There's something when you are near. Why don't you stay? So why don't you stay? Ooh, ooh, why don't you stay? Ooh, ooh, why don't you stay? Ooh, ooh, why don't you stay? So why don't you stay? Ooh, ooh, why don't you stay? Ooh, ooh, why don't you stay?
All right, that's the vocal. So that's parallel compression printed on, but we'll deal with that in a minute. Let's get the drums recalled appropriately using the same compressor for them. So what is that? 30-30, 10-10, 4-1. Okay, the drum compression is back. Okay, now we're going to apply the same EQ and compression to the parallel compressed vocal. And that just gives us a little bit more oomph overall.
Well, I know a lot of guys have been in love with you, girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world.
Vocal's still a little muddy.
Paradise, or so I've heard from somebody.
So we're going to clean a little bit of that up.
I'm just sitting here and thinking about the times that we once had.
Yeah, there we go.
Some of them were crazy, hey, but some of them were bad. And if they
We're going to do the
ask
same
me,
thing
I'd
to
say
these
I
backgrounds
was
as well.
glad to have known you.
These vocal doubles.
So why don't you stay for a little while? Why don't you stay? Come on and make me smile. Why don't you stay? We could just talk all night. Why don't you stay?
I'm going to import some vocal processing that I really like, that works really well for me, from another session, and then we'll talk about what it is. Just going to do a reverb and delay, a plate, and a space echo. So I think we're probably around 2 hours into this mix. Not bad, considering the technical difficulties. We're going to send these out to LeadVoc. We're going to get rid of all this automation. That is from another session. Let's make sure there isn't any other automation on it. Nope, we're good. Cool. We're going to start with our lead vocal and this parallel compressed vocal. Dial some things into taste. You know, it's not a super ambient track. It's not an electronic pop song. So it doesn't need to be crazy.
Well, I know a lot of guys have been in love with you, girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world.
Just adding some color.
Paradise or so I've heard from somebody. Well, I know a lot of guys have been in love with you, girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world.
Those sound pretty good.
A paradise or so I've heard from somebody.
And then these doubles can probably get a little bit
So
more.
why don't you stay for a little while? Why don't you stay? Come on and make me smile. Why don't you stay? We could just talk all night. Why don't you stay? So why don't you stay?
I missed some automation.
For a little while, why don't you stay? Come on and make me smile. Why don't you stay? We could just talk all night. Why don't you stay? So why don't you stay for a little while? Why don't you stay? Come on and make me smile. Why don't you stay? We could just talk all night. Why don't you stay?
Now we're going to have to do a vocal ride at the end here.
Well, I know a lot of guys.
Each of these sections is going to have a different sound, but let's see. Is this him?
Why don't you stay?
Sounds like it could be him singing high. Maybe it's not. To save some time, we're going to do this. We're going to compress them a lot. And see if we have the same EQ decisions.
So why don't you stay?
I don't like to have super loud background vocals. I don't know if that's just me. I do like them super wide, though. So I usually go hard, half. I'm not super precise with when I'm doing half pans, but I just make sure they're the same.
So why don't you stay?
See how this sets.
For a little while, why don't you stay? Come on and make me smile. Why don't you stay? We could just talk all night. Why don't you stay? So why don't you stay? For a little while, why don't you stay? Come on and make me
next time that happens.
So why don't you stay for a little?
Cool, those sound pretty good. What is this?
And I know I'm not the easiest man in the world.
We're going to telephone the hell out of this guy. It is a harmony, but it's really not. It's functioning like an ad lib, even if it is technically a harmony. I hear that as an ad lib, which is why we're going to telephone the hell out of it.
I know I'm not the easiest man in the world, and I know there's nothing simple about loving me, girl.
I like that a lot. Let's just compress it. I don't compress everything. I don't over compress everything, but I do compress vocals. I like the texture of a compressed vocal. Let's get together and give it a whirl. I just say now. And I know I'm not the easiest man in the world, and I know there's nothing simple about loving me, girl. I'm a little delay happy with this. Again, if this were a pop track, I would throw some delay throws in here, though that's more me as a producer talking than anything else. Let's listen to the track. Let's see what we got. All right, since things are coming along so nicely, I feel like these acoustic guitars can be shiny, and they're not really shiny yet. And I'm upset about that. All right, it's time to pull out a Neve. There's that Neve shine. Can't change the impedance mode. Sorry if that blew your ears for a minute. I really want to drive this preamp and then pull down the gain over here to get the texture. Now I can chill them out. That sounds the way I want it to now. Let's listen. Bring the bass in a little bit more.
Well, I know a lot of guys have been in love with you, girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world. A paradise or so I've heard from somebody. Just sitting here thinking about the times that we once had. Yes, some of them were crazy, hey, but some of them were bad. And if they asked me, I'd say I was glad.
Bringing in some of the amp bass.
So why don't you stay for a little while? Why don't you stay? Come on and make me smile.
Gotta chill those guitars out a bit. Gonna bring back some of the keys.
Why don't you stay? When I heard that you got married to that old friend of mine, and it didn't take you long for you stepped out of the line. But through the grapevine, I heard you doing fine.
Gonna add a little bit of output to the drum compression.
That's why I asked you here today to see if you could see what I can see. That maybe it was always meant that it would end up you and me. Guess what I'm saying is if you want me, then I'm ready to go, yeah.
Give it a little bit more snap.
Why don't you stay for a little while? Why don't you stay? Come on and make me smile. Why don't you stay? We could just talk all night. Why don't you stay? So why don't you stay? Wipe away the tears. Why don't you stay? 'Cause God, I need you here. Why don't you stay? How can I make this clear? Why don't you stay?
Telephoning out these vocal doubles.
Oh, I'm not the easiest
See what that sounds like
man.
again.
So why don't you stay for a little while? Why don't
So I'm telephoning those guys out
come on and make
so they don't take up as much room.
Why don't you stay? We could just talk all night. Why don't you stay? So why don't you stay? Wipe away the tears.
All right, we're speed mixing here. This sounds good. Let's check this last chorus.
So why don't you stay? Wipe away the tears. Why don't you stay? 'Cause God, I need you here. Why don't you stay? There's something when you are near. Why?
All right, this sounds good. We're going to do two things. First off, I'm going to bounce out this is the Pro Tools bounce. We're going to import after bounce. Okay, now I got the internal bounce here mixed down, bounced out. Cool. Yeah, I want to start that when the thing starts there. Cool. That's right. Now we're going to not duplicate this. We're going to send it to a stereo track. This is MT. Let's call it print. And then at the end, I will upload both of these tracks, and you can decide which one you like better, the Pro Tools mix or the hardware mix. And then once I'm done with the hardware mix, I will do my usual L3 on the master fader and see what's happening there. Give me one moment. I'm going to solo out my compressor so that I can hear it. You won't be able to hear it. Output 1 and 2. All right, let's see what this sounds like.
Wipe away the tears. Why don't you stay? 'Cause God, I need you here. Why don't you stay? There's
Okay, so we're going to do 18 to 26, 10, 10, 4 to 1. Let's print it. I'll be back when it's done.
Stay.
Okay. Let's take a look at this guy here. This song is definitely a fade out. We're going to fade out from here. We're going to fade out this whole ending. Make it a nice solid fade. I'll commit the fade. I'm going to raise the gain up on the track. Get it hitting the peaks there. All right, and I've got my printed mix. I'm going to, this is how I'm going to bounce it. At 48. Wave. Put it right on the desktop. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Thanks for watching the speed.